What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me tonight, it's Chris, the stats man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. All right, guys, stat of the week. Margin NBA team averaging fourth quarter margin rankings. We got the Chicago Bulls in first place with an average of 5.1 fourth quarter margin. And in last place, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves with a -8. So that's how the season's going right now. Chicago on Monday beating Brooklyn by a lot more than 5, which is really helping this out. But they're looking great, and stats like these are a lot of fun to look at.
Oh, yeah, the Bulls are clutch. And also getting minutes tonight. He's getting into some lawn beef. It's the Jokic brother, Joey McCrosky. Get that, Joe.
What's up, everybody? The lawn mowing is done. The last cut was completed.
Last cut has been done.
The striper is removed.
And now you're ready to throw hands in the
snow game.
In the snow game.
That's right. We're ready to roll in the mountaintops of Denver.
Oh yeah, we gotta get to all that, the beefs, the games, but first we gotta let us know who's making us sound good. He just woke up from a nap. It's Adam, the professional runs on the level side. Adam.
How are they? They're
Yeah.
great. They're like I just woke up and
He may
woke
still
up
be
into yeah. I might still be sleeping. I don't know. No, they sound great.
He is the master of a power nap. I'm honestly jealous. And we learned tonight before the show started that apparently that is the routine of half the Box Out Boys is a nap pre-show. So it sounds smart. We need to start doing that. Well, we got some new stuff tonight. We're gonna do introduce a new segment. We're calling it Plus Minus. Start with that. We're gonna, of course, cover some Bulls conversation. Another crazy week for the Bulls. Comebacks, losses. It's all going on. The big fight we were talking about with Jokic and Morris. We'll definitely get to that. And then we have the valiant return of Chris's All You Can Have 'Em team. We're very excited. We'll see. Have players been adjusted? Will there be new people? Will we get into a yelling match on this? We don't know yet. We'll get there in time.
Will there be beef?
Will there be beef? I'm sure there will be
brothers
beef.
are ready to fight.
All right, boys. Well, let's get into the plus minus tonight. So this is going to be a little segment we're trying to do. So we're going to go around the league and give some thoughts on teams that are up, they're in the plus, and some teams that are in the minus that are down, having some bad weeks. You guys care if I start?
Go for it.
Go for it. All right. Well, the one team I had is in a minus this week is the Atlanta Hawks. I know over the last few podcasts, I was saying I was a little nervous about them, especially for the Bulls and how they're going to be in the top 4, top 5 in the East. Rough start, man. 0-5 this week with losses to the Nets, Jazz, Suns, Golden State, and the Jazz again. So tough schedule. A couple of back-to-backs in the mix. I know the Jazz were both on a back-to-back, so can't really fault them there. It's tough schedule, but the 0-5, I think it's dropping to about 3-8 or something. I think they are
4-8 now.
4-8.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a rough start for them. Not showing the same, drive and intensity that got them to the conference finals. And of course, you had the Steph going off for 50 against them. Rough one, man. You guys got any thoughts on what's going on with Atlanta or anything? You just kind of.
I think my first thing comes to mind with Atlanta is Trey when he mentioned, I forget after which game that they lost. He was saying how it's hard to get into it.
Yeah,
because of it's not the playoffs anymore. This seems like a team that's going to regress. After hearing that comment, it's like they overachieved last year. They made it to the conference finals, and now it's like, oh, now we got to play all these games. It's like you got teams like Philly who are just getting right back into it, and Milwaukee's kind of being a little lazy too after they won it. But Atlanta really just feels like they're taking a step back, which is very surprising given the roster and what should be happening on that team.
And I think with Milwaukee, there's at least that built-in excuse right now of you kind of got some guys out with injuries and COVID and stuff. But Atlanta's got, as far as I know, has got everybody going. Joey, what do you think's going on? Is this just a little bit of a hangover from a conference finals appearance?
Yeah, it's weird. I think we definitely misjudged which team would regress. We all, in the beginning of the season, or I guess over the summer, thought that the Knicks would be one of the teams that was going to have a little bit of a slip back versus last year. But yeah, the Hawks for sure. that is a very concerning comment from your star player. You would think at this point he'd be the one kind of trying to rally around them, at least in the public eye. If you want to sit in the locker room and talk that way, that's one thing. But definitely concerning comment. They got to snap out of it, and they got to snap out of it quick. It's almost like they're in their own heads. Trey was talking about the whole foul thing, and he got a lot of negative press for that. I think when nobody else wanted to make a big deal about it. Everybody else kind of brushed it off, and he's trying to make a deal. So it seems like they got a little bit in their head. They've got a good coach. I think they can fight through it, but they've got some ground to make up here. And it's the way the East is going. It could get out of hand quick if a handful of these teams keep playing the way they're playing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of strong teams in the East. One of those strong teams that was a plus for me was Philly. Even though they kind of have some issues, they got a couple guys out with COVID. I know Embiid's out with COVID, and Tobias Harris, and I think a few other guys. But big wins this week over the Bulls twice, which was not fun for us, and the Pistons. And then they dropped to at the end of the week with a very short staff guys against New York and the Bucks. But they kept it close, really only lost in the fourth quarter. They were up against the Bucks going into the fourth quarter, and then they lost, and they only lost to New York by 7. So, overall, a solid week from them, aside from, having some guys out for a few minutes.
How about Furkan Korkmaz?
Yeah, dude, that guy's been on fire.
That guy killed it against the Chicago. When he played at Milwaukee the other night, he was 1 for 12 from 3, 2 of 18.
Yeah.
Too bad he couldn't do that in Chicago. But man, that man is streaky.
So, Chris, you got any plus minuses?
I did not come prepared for plus minuses, but I got some off the cuff ones. Minus for me is Minnesota. I talk about them a lot considering it's where I live currently. This team has not won since last time we did a podcast. They won that night. They are 0-5 since losing to Denver, Orlando. Did we talk about them? Orlando. What else do we got here?
We talked about Orlando.
They've only had 2 games since. Sorry. They're 0-3 since the podcast. 2 losses to Clippers and then to Memphis on Monday, which was just the craziest game where they had a 38-23 third quarter, talking about, quarter margins here, and then an 11-point 32-21 fourth quarter margin, which they only made it to the overtime in the most insane way I've ever seen it, where Towns hit like this step back bank 3 that had no chance. And, but then they just couldn't get together in overtime. And I don't know, man. This team is frustrating. Karl-Anthony Towns just posted a Godfather photo on Twitter. I don't know what you're supposed to make of that. He also mentioned how his account was hacked recently. I don't know if this is another hack or
is this related to the first hack?
Yeah. So this team, they were looking really positive for a minute there.
They were. They were looking sharp.
A lot of promise. Anthony Edwards, first overall pick. It's like, okay, we got something here. And now everyone's just kind of in a free fall with this team again. That Orlando loss was just brutal. So
yeah, you can't lose Orlando, man.
I don't know, guys. Like, what are your thoughts outside here with Minnesota?
I mean, frankly, I haven't caught a lot of Minnesota. They're one of those teams. I feel like they have moments where they show that they can be really good. They just haven't put it together. They haven't put together like stretches, really long stretches, to really get in the mix. I'm not really sure what to make of that big 3 over there with Edwards, Cat, and Russell. They maybe. I know I've heard that they might need to start thinking about moving on from Cat, which I think is maybe kind of crazy, but I don't know what the word is up in Minnesota, but that's kind of where I'm at with them. Just kind of a wait and see on them, see if they ever catch fire. I mean, like the Cavs, for instance, like another one of your favorite teams, Chris. They're starting to look good. They've been seeming to kind of put together. It seems like their draft picks are coming up and looking sharp. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hang on, Joey. Do you have any takes for Minnesota?
Yeah, just from that game on Monday night. So Anthony Edwards had 27 points, D'Angelo Russell had 30, and Karl-Anthony Towns had 25. It says here they blew a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, I don't know how you got performances from everybody you need to get a performance from. You just crumbled down the stretch. It's not a recipe for success, especially when you've lost 4 in a row and that's going to be your 5th one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's not looking great. The supporting cast is very lackluster. Everyone, fan favorite Naz Reid got 8 points. Jaden McDaniels isn't progressing as much as I thought, nor Jared Vanderbilt. But we'll see, man. Be more positive right now. I was going to mention the Cleveland Cavaliers as my up and up team, but then they lost today to the Washington Wizards, who Washington's the up and up team right now. They are undefeated since the last time we talked. They are currently 7-3 with wins recently over Memphis, Milwaukee, and Cleveland. This team is good. This team's got some guys.
They got some guys.
The Russell Westbrook trade is really working out for them. Montrezl Harrell is killing it for them. Kyle Kuzma's flourishing with them. Daniel Gafford, Chicago's own. He's still producing at a solid rate for them after signing that 4-year extension. I like this team. I don't know if we're going to get much out of it. It's just an exciting group to see right now. So I don't feel like we're going to talk about it much this year. But right now is the time. Corey Kispert's been really disappointing. Gonzaga guy, rookie, 15th overall pick. He's supposed to be a sniper. He's averaging 23. Anyways, this team overall, it's nice to see that they're actually showing some success right now.
No, them and the Cavs for sure have been, pleasant surprises, for their fan bases for sure. They've been playing great. Kind of curious if either of those teams can kind of keep it going and be interesting in the mix for the playoffs or play-in tournament. Joey, you got any plus minuses?
Yeah, mine's more general, specific teams. So my plus is the middle tier of teams in the Eastern Conference. So not just looking at the rankings now, but I think what we all kind of consider the middle tier of teams coming into the season. So the Bulls, the Wizards, the Knicks, the Heat are all exceeding expectations to start the season. I think they've all definitely performed better than anybody would have expected them to. There's obviously plenty of time to go, so a lot of shakeup to happen there, but so far so good. And the minus, looking at the Western Conference, is some of the top teams you would expect are kind of struggling right now. So if the playoffs were to start today, I know I talked about this earlier in my excitement this morning about the Bulls being a 2 seed. The Clippers and the Lakers would be playing a play-in game to determine the 7 seed. Blazers would also be playing the Kings to determine who plays the loser of that first game. So some blue bloods struggling in the Western Conference. Also a little bit of not surprised, but the Golden State Warriors, Chris's number 8 seed, are 9-1. So they're kind of setting the balance a bit higher. But minus overall, I think there's some teams in the West that should be playing a little bit better. And I think overall in the league, you're seeing a little bit of a power shift to the Eastern Conference. Maybe for a long time, the West has been the league to be in, and I think we might be seeing a little bit of a pendulum swing here so far this season.
It definitely looks
like to take a victory lap for us on that one. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page heading into the season. That the East had more talent than the West, so
I think
we gotta take that victory lap now before the Warriors don't get the 8 seed.
Hey, the Warriors. We'll see, man. I think the Bulls are going to beat the Warriors. They play them this week. We can get to that maybe a little bit later.
We'll get to that in our Bulls talk.
It could be like a box out boys bet, honestly. I don't know what the spread is on that game yet, but I'm feeling good about the Bulls in that one.
Feeling good about the Bulls, man. We'll see what happens tonight. They're up pretty good right now on Dallas, so at least a little bit up. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that one. I really like what you're saying, Joey, and something I actually was thinking about during the week, and we hadn't talked about this as a topic, but I kind of could be a quick, thought. I kind of feel like this is wide open. And what do you guys think about this? I know that early predictions were Lakers, Nets, and it felt pretty, like there was maybe 2 or 3 teams that could really win the title. I kind of don't feel that way now. I kind of feel like that I really don't know who's going to come out of, either conference, at least just yet. And maybe things will shake out as we get further along in the season and we'll feel a little more confident. But right now, I kind of feel like things are wide open still. How do you guys feel just in the general kind of landscape of the league?
Yeah, I agree.
There you go.
I definitely think it's wide open. I don't know if I trust any of these newcomers yet to the party. I guess, looking at like a 7-game series, I think some of the favorites still would probably be favorites in a matchup like that. There's just not any proof to some of these teams yet. The Bulls being one of them. Yes, they're winning good games.
Yeah.
But in a 7-game series, they have shown lapses at times. And just some of these teams have these dominant scorers that can get a shot at any given time. Levine can be a dominant scorer, so can DeMar, but It's not, your Giannis type. It's not the Durant type. It's
True.
a little bit different. It's not the Embiid type. So, there are still some favorites, and the records aren't showing it right now. I think it's wide open of who gets to the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, but I think in terms of who's going to kind of come out ahead, I still think we're going to be looking at coming into the season 1-2 seeds that we all kind of called from the beginning of the season.
Milwaukee Nets,
Yeah.
Sixers, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, you're saying
the
you kind of agree?
only team I'm kind of confident, really, who's playing well now, who I would be shocked if they don't continue to play well, is Utah. This
Yeah.
team's in second in the West. They're fine. They're like the Spurs of the early 2000s. They're always in the regular season. They got a good base. They play the right way. I was watching, anyways. Not worth much. I know the No Dunks guys hate talking about the Jazz because they just want to talk about the playoffs now. But the team is still there's some fun pieces there.
I think I was thinking about it while I was kind of watching some games this week. I just if you told me 6 months from now that it's Utah versus Philly in the finals, I wouldn't be surprised. But if you told me it's Phoenix versus Milwaukee again, wouldn't be surprised. If you told me it was Lakers Bucks or Lakers Nets, wouldn't be surprised. So I just think Clippers even. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of teams that I'm like, yeah, hey, they can maybe make some noise.
Yeah, Dallas,
interesting,
Golden
or
State.
Miami.
Yeah,
Dallas, Miami.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I kind of feel like it's very wide open. I think it will, like you guys are saying, will kind of settle itself out here. A lot of teams are up right now that maybe we'll be looking a little more middle of the pack down the road. But it's very interesting. I'm very excited for this season. So we can. We got one more. I had one more minus, and I think we could talk about it. Talking about contenders, the one potential contender early this season was the Nuggets. There was definitely a minus moment there in the game against the. Who was it? The Clippers? Oh no, Heat.
It was a Heat.
Yeah, why did I just think Clippers there for a second? Yeah, Jokic, Morris. Just what do you guys think, man? Take it away.
Before we talk about what obviously happened, Jokic 25 points, 15 rebounds, 10 is a triple double, only 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 2 blocks. This guy had a crazy game. He's still playing at the MVP level. He's still playing like the best player in the league. He's the only reason this team is 6-5. And the reason why they demolished Miami this night. That's why I think Markieff, he did like an Andrew Bynum in the 2011 NBA Finals. Not in the finals, but in the conference finals in the West. Right. Where it wasn't as blatant as that, but just reminded me of that. And it was just kind of like, there's no place for what Jokic did either. But that was.
Yeah, so the whole situation, if you haven't seen it, Markieff Morris takes like a hard foul, take foul kind of, as Jokic is coming across the half court line and making a pass, and then Jokic just kind of blindsides him and throws a shoulder into him and knocks him down, and then words ensue and Twitter beefs ensue after that. Joey, what did you think, man, of the whole thing? I think you texted the group and said these guys were, being a little soft out there, assholes.
Yeah, I think they were. I think my exact word was they're both a bunch of bitches.
Yeah,
and I think Chris, you saying that stat line makes me think that even more. First, Morris. Absolute Bush League move.
Yeah.
I mean, Spoelstra was at the podium calling it a touch foul to stop the game. Come on, don't get out here with that nonsense. Just call it a hard foul. That wasn't smart. You could easily, give the guy a bear hug and make your point known. You don't have to jab your elbows into his ribs and also buckle his knee out from underneath him. Just stupid. And Jokic, I mean, guy has a triple double, probably second in MVP, voting right now. If it were to happen right now, there's no need to get up and do that. You guys have obliterated the Heat. The game's done. You got the game in control. You have a triple double. You're having a good season already. Now you put your team down because you're gonna be suspended for one game. No need for it. I mean, after the game, he said so as much, right? He lost his temper, and I get it, right? You're in the heat of the moment. You just got decked, so you want to stand up and do it. But I mean, you're a good player. That's what happens, right? You become a target for cheap shit like that when you're beating up on somebody, and you got to have a cooler head and get up and pull a Joakim Noah, get up and clap in his face and smile and just get them all riled up and go shoot your free throws and move on with it. So I don't expect anybody will try that again. I don't know if anybody saw
play later
Tyler,
this month.
You saw Tyler Hero's
Yeah.
face. He tried to take a step to Jokic to defend his player. And
Not twice.
he looked up the mountain and said, "Yep, nope, I'm turning around from here."
It's a big dude.
But not Jimmy. Jimmy had no fear. He was ready to go.
Jimmy was ready to go, man. I'm like, okay, Jimmy.
He ate his spinach. He was ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, I really like Jokic as a player, and I don't know. I just that move just kind of makes me think, like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, I think I was watching the Bulls pregame, and I think Kendall Gill was talking about you should like spin him around, man. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys gotta like do it to his face. Like, don't wait till he's turned his back. The one thing I would say, they were showing that clip on the Bulls pregame, and I don't know if maybe they slowed it down or something. I kind of think the reason why he turns his back is I don't think he did it on purpose, which is really weird. I know his reputation is pretty bad, but it kind of looks like Jokic is coming at him. He's coming there. I think he puts the arm out a little bit, but I don't think he thought it was as hard as it was because he just kind of like turns it the way he's walking. He does not walking like, I don't know. Maybe it was just the angle.
I think
that
he knows
showed.
what he did. Markieff, no. And especially the way he was flailing on the ground.
That part.
He tried to get up and then he fell again. And it was just like, this is worse than like a soccer player in the Premier
It was
League.
dumb. It was dumb from both of them.
I don't know, man.
They both could have done a lot better with
Big
that
Daddy
situation.
Kumquat. Jimmy is punk ass.
Jimmy is punk.
Jimmy in the locker room following that game.
Jimmy is Morris did it on purpose.
Bro.
He did.
We'll see.
You think the
I
best
don't
of
know.
everyone, Titus. We love you, but yeah, Morris.
I think it was a little. I just think. I don't know. I don't think he thought it was as hard as it was. Jokic kind of. I don't know. It was a weird situation. The whole situation is weird.
Just
We'll
give
see
him a
what
bear hug
happens.
next time.
Yeah, just.
I like the
Come on.
clapping. Just do the clapping in his
Just do the
face.
clapping,
next
man.
time.
You just
That
go,
would be
hey.
nice. Yeah.
Do the classic Joakim Noah.
All right. I think we're good there. Going around the league, we can kind of talk about the Bulls this week. You guys ready for that?
Let's do it.
And now for your Chicago Bulls talk. Well, the Bulls went 1-2 this week, right? 1-2. Did I have that right?
Yeah.
Since our last pod, yes, 1-2.
And they
Yep,
beat Brooklyn.
1-2. The big win against Brooklyn, that was, great. Had to break out the Zach LaVine jersey for that. So I feel like I was part of that win. And then 2 losses against the Sixers. I believe I said on the last podcast, right, that they have to get the second one against the Sixers. And they didn't do that. So what are you going to do? Joey, we'll go to you for this one, man. What are your thoughts on the Bulls week? A positive week, a negative week?
Yeah, I think overall a positive week. I think I was on board with what we were all saying, that they had to get that Saturday game, the back-to-back against the Sixers. After their performance on Monday against the Nets, I think that became a almost forgotten game.
Yeah.
I think they kind of wiped that out. I kind of almost forgot about both of those games. Early on in the game on Monday night, second quarter, when they got outscored 30-16, I was clearly remembering the game and thinking, oh boy, here we go again. But then the fourth quarter, they just came out and they could not be stopped. Outscored the Nets 42-17 in the fourth quarter.
Beat down.
It was a back-to-back for the Nets, but they put Harden and Durant on the bench early in that fourth quarter. I think 4 minutes or so left. Steve Nash waved the white flag and sent in the reserve. So big win for them. I think the positives coming out of those two 76ers games, they got down and they fought back and they did keep it close. The big thing was, Vooch was pretty brutal in both of those games. Pretty brutal. Vooch was brutal in both of those games. I don't know if it was the Embiid factor and playing against an actual center, somebody who actually had a chance to, show us all of the weaknesses that we've tried to ignore on Vooch since he's come to the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
But they were definitely in full display in both of those games. A little bit better tonight against the Mavs. But that's going to be definitely a issue as the season goes on, is that Vooch is going to get, I think he's going to get exposed when they play teams that have, legitimate scoring centers. It's just something they're going to have to figure out how to deal with. And, other guys are going to have to carry the load a little bit more, but they're going to have to figure that part out as they go.
Yeah, for sure. He's been pretty brutal. 37% field goal percentage, averaging 13 points a game. He really needs to pick it up. Chris, what were your thoughts on the Bulls week?
Bulls are, I don't know, man. They're doing fine. We're talking about that Brooklyn game. That's the one I'm going to just focus on. Yeah, Brooklyn's come off a back-to-back. Kevin Durant still got 38 points and 10 rebounds. He had a minus 22, which
He's
is
pretty good.
an insane stat line for Kevin
Yeah.
Durant. 38 points, but he's still
Still minus
awful.
22. That's nuts.
Harden got 14, 8, 5. All Joe Bench got 19. Nothing really else from anybody else.
You
on
can
his
have
team.
them.
But
Ooh, preview.
Ayo Dosunmu, who continues
Yeah.
to be electric for this team.
That
Yeah,
dude.
great hometown guy. He's not a poor man's. He's more like a homeless man's Derrick Rose. You know, it's kind of nice to like have a little bit of.
Or
Yeah,
a
you
rich
see
man's
some
Kobe
flashes.
White? Is he a rich man's Kobe White?
No,
There you
hang on,
go.
yeah.
Rich man's Kobe
We're getting
White.
Kobe White,
Now
guys.
I'm
We're getting
talking
Kobe.
about
We're
it.
getting him
We're getting
back.
him back.
Well, good. He can sit on the bench
He's
for
coming back to
Io.
the Western
dominates.
Conference.
You can sit at the end of the
Road trip.
bench.
They're the Bulls' weakest quarter, by the way. And when you look at point margin, is the second quarter, and that's usually when you see the reserve. So bringing back Kobe White could really help
Yeah, not good.
the Bulls' second quarter. So I'm really excited for them. He went from Windy City. He practiced with them for like an hour or something, and then went to the team. So he should be back anytime. Really excited for that. I'm excited for the Bulls. It seems like they'll be competitive in every single game they play this year. If you don't bring your A game, you're gonna lose. That's what this team feels like right now. Dallas right now they're up 15, and I don't know, man. That's when Golden State on Friday.
It's his
Show me
first
the
quarter,
spread.
man.
What they're at Golden State, so Golden State's probably like 2-point favorites. Give me the Bulls. Give me the points.
Ooh,
It's gonna be
baby.
good.
Yeah, they look like they're running right now. Is what I can catch. I keep turning my head there to look at the watch
Yeah.
the game. I'll have to
I
come
just
back
want
and
to
watch
say
this.
about Io. I think Io might be the next jersey to get, guys. I might be saying I think he's the jersey to pick up here. I think we're gonna see an ascension in the next 2-3 years from him. The one
So
that Kobe can never ascend to.
If somebody is asking you like, what jersey should I get? Are you telling them to get Io right now?
I think
It's still got to be Levine, right?
well, let's see.
It's Levine.
Everybody's on the Levine train, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's
got a
coming
Levine jersey.
around. Hey. I if you're gonna get your first jersey, right? Okay, let's go Levine, right? But if
Yeah.
you've already got a few,
You got a few.
in the
You got a
closet,
so let's say you just got a Levine jersey
yeah,
for
and
like
you're
an
kind of saying,
anniversary
hey,
or
you
something.
know, I'm back in. The Bulls are back. I'm ready to watch every game. I'm going to go to a few games here. I think you pick up an Io jersey.
Io's kind of the Bulls nerd fan pick, I think.
Yeah.
It's
That's
kind of
right.
like when the Hawks were good, and you see the people with Chalmerson jerseys. That's like a real Hawks fan, you know.
Real Hawks
Yeah.
Like or
So for
Keith.
guys like us, we'll be rocking our Io jerseys.
Caruso,
You can get one of those. You can
I
get
like
one of
Io
those.
better. Just drafted
One of
by
those
the Bulls.
dual-sided jerseys. Bulls on the front. Morgan Park on the back. A little.
Wow.
A little
Yeah.
mix.
There you
I don't
go.
know. Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, I know that they had the 2 losses against the Sixers, which were tough, but Vooch played terrible in those games. So I think you get a decent performance from him. You win at least one of those.
Mhm.
Like you said, I was really concerned about that second game because I thought the Brooklyn game was a loss. So getting the Brooklyn game is big. It looks like they're gonna, fingers crossed, hold on with 8 minutes left. If they can hang on to this and get this win, that's a big win over the Mavs, who are 7-3 as well too. They're not no slouch.
Yeah.
So, and I really think I forget exactly who they're all playing coming up, but I think that like that Lakers game is going to be very winnable. What Chris is saying, the Golden State game is going to be very interesting to see, how they match up against those guys. And, Golden State's going to get into the meat of their schedule too. I know they've had a little bit of an easier schedule to start. So,
Yeah, they've got the really tough schedule coming up.
Yeah.
It's Warriors, then Clippers. The Clippers, Lakers back to back.
Clippers
and
might
then-
be the loss, but
and then Blazers, Nuggets, Knicks. So
this
this is the stretch. I think
Yeah.
they've got to win a handful of these games. If
I would
they can get
say-
the Warriors game, and then you split one in LA.
yeah,
Maybe they should get the Blazers,
they should get the Blazers.
and then finish it off with a win against the Knicks, lose to the Nuggets. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
With that stretch in 13 games.
That would be very good.
Yeah.
All right. That was your Bulls talk. We'll get hopefully we'll be celebrating some more wins this week. But with that, let's go to our last segment of the night. Chris, are you ready, my friend? This is the return of the All You Can Have 'Em team. If you don't know what this is the team that Chris puts together. It's 5 guys, all positions. And it's guys that are good, but we think you can have them. We don't want them on our team. Chris?
They're not gonna make your team. They're high floor, low ceiling kind of players. Previous all you can have them starting 5 included Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Tobias Harris, Nikola Vucevic, and Andre Drummond. I have a new list now that completely removes, I'm pretty sure all of them except one.
Yes. Oh.
For various reasons, whether it's because these guys have to be really good in order to be on this list. Like Andre Drummond's not on this list anymore because he's just not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris too. I just want to point out he's still making $34 million. Still insane. He's got COVID now.
Can I throw one stat on Drummond? Did you guys listen to the No Dunks episode? I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Throw it out. Throw the stat out.
Drummond had another big beef, as Trey Kirby likes to say.
86,
And it was his 85th 20 rebound game.
That's
in his
nuts,
career.
man.
It's absurd.
He's never won a playoff series.
I know, but just the fact that 20 rebounds 85 times is just that's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know when they said that, I was like, "Holy crap, man!"
That's like 20 rebounds every 8th game for him, or something like that.
Ugh, that
nuts.
is disgusting.
He's a fun player. I think he's in the perfect position in Philly, but he was just playing so long as the primary guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on.
Let's
You
hear
can
it.
have him starting 5. Number 1 is a top 75 player of all time. He used to be on the you can't have him list, but he's just not it. And it's Damian Lillard.
Oh,
Damian Lillard has. Oh my gosh, I have
like
this
it.
stat.
I'm not gonna lie. I
So-
wanted to say him.
I like it.
These last 3 years, he made it to the Western Conference Finals. He lost 0-4 to the Warriors. That series kind of just should have shown everybody that Curry is in a league, 2 leagues above Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
And then 2 round 1 exits. Every single year since CJ and Damian Lillard have been together, it has never felt like they're gonna win it. You always felt like you need to trade one of them, and Portland just never has. And and then you see the results every single year. They're always kind of in the mix, but then they just lose. They have some moments. Dame time beat OKC that one year, and then some stuff like that. But like, I don't know, man. You're not gonna get much from this team. Damian Lillard being on that top 75 list is the most overrated thing I think I've seen. I love the guy, but you can have him.
You know what? Not mad at it, man. Not
Full
mad
support.
at it. I love Dame. You guys know I love Dame. I love Dame time. One of my favorite players to watch. But when I was kind of thinking of players, he was one of the guys. If you didn't bring him up, I was going to bring him up. Of like, hey, should we be thinking about this guy? Should we be saying that Dame should be on this list because all those points you're making? He's a great player, but he's not. If you're not winning anything with Dame, he's your best player.
Nope. It's proven. I mean, he is the best
Yeah, it's
player
proven.
on that team for every season, and he's not winning them anything.
Keep it rolling, Chris.
All right, guys. And my second guard on this list is he's been in the league for God knows how long now. One of the oldest players in the league, made his first finals appearance last year. Finally, it is Chris Paul.
Whoa.
This guy, I think he proved it last year. He deserves to be on the you can have him list because everyone saw the ceiling.
Whoa.
Everyone saw the mistakes, all the injuries that led him get to the finals. He's a classic high floor, low ceiling guy. I never feel like he's kind of like him and Mike Conley, like these point guards that are like floor general kind of type guys that help bring the team together and do good things, but you never look at them as like the crunch time scorer or like the guy who's gonna rack off 30 or 40 points and bring your team to victory. So, and Chris Paul, the way he handled the Clippers with that whole situation is kind of like busted. I don't know, man. I don't want Chris Paul, especially at his age and the money he's getting. But I still think he's good enough to be considered on this list. So, hey, Phoenix, keep Chris Paul. You can have him. I'm not expecting you to win the championship, with the team you have. So,
A slight disagree on this one.
Ooh.
I still think he's great. I think, you know what? And I don't, maybe currently at his age, like you're saying, he's a little older. I don't know if he's like the number one guy right now, but I still like you put him on LA right now instead of Westbrook. I think that they're more of a contender.
More of a contender, but they're not. Are they fixed?
I would think they'd be better off.
that's a good point. I think if he's on
the right team,
in the contract, yeah.
I still think if he's on the right team, he's okay. But I kind of see what you're saying.
He's definitely an upgrade over Westbrook. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm glad that you finally just agreed, honestly, with one of these. So appreciate the feedback
Plus,
on that.
it's the
Does this
you
mean
know,
Westbrook is off the team though?
it's
He's
Westbrook
not
off
good
the-
enough. He's on the
he's not-
bench.
yeah, no,
He got benched.
Okay.
Everybody
got it.
knows. Everybody knows you don't
Yeah.
want Westbrook. On
Got
that.
it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not fun to say Westbrook
It's not
anymore.
fun anymore.
No,
All right,
I'm
fair
trying
enough.
to think. I'm trying to think of a replacement. I mean, maybe for the guard position, I still might put Harden. Like James Harden might be my guy that I would put there because he's a guy that I think, especially this season,
yeah.
he's always relied on fouls, and he's kind of been. I know he hasn't said a ton about it, but he has kind of said some things, and his production has definitely dropped. So I don't know. Like that would be maybe more my guy versus Chris Paul, but a slight disagree. An objection. Joey, what did you think, man? Chris Paul.
I'm on board with it.
Oh,
The only-
wow.
I think maybe you can make the argument that every team he goes to, he has improved, right? The Rockets, the Thunder, the Suns, but improving them has gotten them to heartbreak playoff losses. And that's happened for 3 years in a row. So
Well,
I think by the criteria of the team, he puts you on a team, he makes you a little bit better, but he's not going to push you over the top. He doesn't do much for you in terms of, actually achieving your goal. I think he fits the bill.
hold on. I do have one. You just reminded me of one thing. He gets hurt in that Rockets Warrior series, and the Rockets lose. He doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, but you don't know that.
Yeah, it's a great what if.
It's great,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
he might have
happen.
a title. He
Yeah.
might have a title.
Then
And
you wouldn't be on
maybe
this
that's what
list.
you're saying. Maybe that's what you're saying. That it's
Here,
all these
but-
injuries and all these what ifs. But I don't know. You know what I mean? That team was ready to beat him.
Maybe if he gets traded to the Lakers
Yeah.
15 years ago, he's on a
For
list. But
real.
didn't
Go
happen.
for it, too.
So
All right.
I'm
So
in.
that was
Two
one of
against
my-
one. He stays on the team.
That was one of my more controversial ones. I have
Extremely
one that
controversial.
I'm gonna go with the one I know you guys will agree with.
right.
Starting forward, power forward,
Power forward.
it's Julius Randle, former MIP winner.
Yes.
We all saw it in the playoffs last year. What he is against Atlanta, he kind of just couldn't do anything. He's a good guy. He's a good player. He's a good guy.
Good guy.
I like him.
guy.
I like him a
He's a
lot.
guy.
I like what New York is doing. They got a great backcourt finally with Fournier and Kevin Walker to help with him, and obviously Rose. So Julius Randle's a good player, but you know what? I'm not going to pay that guy the money he's getting. You can have him. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick one here. I kind of agree with this. Joey, any thoughts on Julius Randle?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Or
Have
I
him.
guess
All right,
thumbs
guys.
down for me.
My number 3 on this list. He has to be on this list. It's just the team.
Uh-oh.
The team he's on has been so underwhelming since he's been in the league. He's been a little overhyped in a way, but also like kind of earned it. But like, I don't know, man. It's Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum.
wow.
He's giving me a lot of Carmelo
Ooh.
Anthony vibes.
Wow.
Early Carmelo vibes. I don't know, man. His assist percentage used to be like 20,
Ooh.
25%, which is great for a small forward. Now it's at 16 this year. The guy's really just playing iso ball. He's always been a guy who likes to shoot the mid range, and his team's underwhelming. They should be so good. I don't understand this. He should be a superstar, and he's just kind of being like Carmelo in a way. And if he's gonna be Carmelo, I don't want Carmelo on my team. You can have him.
Yeah, Carmelo's an all-time all-you-can-have-him guy. Wow.
This-
This is go ahead,
This
Joey.
actually fits. I think
Yes.
it makes sense.
This is so good.
I'm thinking back to 4 years ago when Levine came to the Bulls, and Chris, we were all like, this guy is just forcing up every shot possible, just out there trying to play hero ball. I feel like that's where Jason Tatum is right now. Everything is ISO. Game gets tough, and the ball sticks in his hands, and he'll dribble, dance around the 3-point line until there's 4 seconds left in the shot clock, and then jack up a shot. So I think it's perfect. I think he has probably the fastest path to getting off of the all-you-can-have-him team. But for now, I like it.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you just said there, where he might have the fastest path off, but I also think like Chris might be like that. He's early on it. He's calling it early. Like nobody's giving it up on Jason Tatum, but like in 2 years you're gonna be looking like, why do we think Jason Tatum was good? And Chris might have been calling it. So let's jot this down in the notes.
That's a good one.
We got it
I think-
recorded.
Yeah, I think he's like a year or two early, but I think you're right. I think in a couple years for sure we're gonna be like, yeah, why was Jason Tatum this hyped guy and he made a bunch of all-star teams but they didn't win shit. That's good.
All right, and then my starting center, I was between two. I think they both deserve to be on here, but the starter is either our new beloved Nikola Vucevic, or I think this is really. I think I have to finally put him on this list. I think Tyson's gonna be excited. It's Rudy Gobert.
Yes!
Rudy Gobert. He's 2 or 3 time defensive player of the year, but every time he goes up against Jokic, he gets cooked. This guy, I don't understand it. Like, he just doesn't do well, one-on-one in the playoffs. You're just gonna play off of him.
Yes.
Rudy Gobert, man, you can have him. It's just not it.
Oh, I'm so happy about this. So I was a little late. I didn't write down as many names as I wanted to because I would have had Damian Lillard written down and a few others. The only name I wrote down was Gobert. I said we have to talk about Gobert because when I watched that Jazz game, what I realized, he gets all his points like off doing dirty work, like offensive rebounds or like on cuts, dives to the basket. He really isn't he doesn't have his own offensive game. And that was where I was like, look, he's a great player. There's no doubt about it. He's a great defender, great rebounder. But this is why they disappear in the playoffs, is because you can't run anything through him. He has to get everything in the flow of the game, in the flow of, loose balls and tip-ins and stuff like that. It's not like you can give it to him like Giannis or even like Vucevic, where you can get him, he do some post moves or something. You know what I mean? Gobert is just not that player. And that's where I was like, look, you can have him. He's a great player, but I'm fine without him. Joey?
My heart's torn because Saturday night I was pretty upset and I said he's a permanent fixture and my celebrity pick was Vooch and he never gets to come off of the list. But I don't like Rudy Gobert. And my heart is torn.
The heart is torn.
You know what? I have the deciding factor. Okay?
Yes.
Rudy Gobert shut down the league in 2020. He did it. It's all his fault.
It's all Gobert's fault. He's
on the team. Anybody can have him.
I mean,
I think you're spot on, though. I think, in all seriousness, Vooch can actually, whether he makes them or not, he can create some of his own offense, right? And he can shoot a three-pointer, and he does have a decent chance to make it when he's not playing like he played against the 76ers 2 games in a row. So, Gobert is going to do the dirty work and all the hard stuff and get those points. And every team needs that kind of player, but that's all you can get from him, right? You can't get anything else from him. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's all every game in and out. And again, by the letter of the law, as we've gone here, he has not translated into them winning anything but regular season games.
No, like he can't do what Giannis did last year.
Absolutely not.
And just like put a team on his back and take him to the finals. You know what I mean? And I think if Utah is like the sum of their parts kind of team, and they're just playing all together, and it's ball movement, it's getting open shots, they can 100% win the title this year because they're that good of a team. But I don't think it's because of Gobert. You know what I mean? It'll be because of their team as a whole, and Gobert will be doing his part. Is very integral part, but not.
Actually, if they win it wouldn't be because they have your third best player needs to be a third option. What you're saying, Titus, Rudy Gobert is not a third option. You got Conley, you got Donovan Mitchell, and then you got to rely on Bojan Bogdanovic, or Joe Ingles or Jordan Clarkson. It's kind of like, it's kind of tough to rely on those guys in a 7-game series. So that's why Rudy Gobert has got to be the starting guy in this list. But yeah. Some other names we already mentioned. Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, give us the bench.
Yeah, Westbrook for sure.
Zion Williamson is on this list just for now.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's kind of more like a watch guy. Like
he's
what's going on with him is really sucks. I love watching him play. Like I said this last week, but he's just been.
It's weird.
I don't know. Another name we need to watch is DeMar DeRozan. I don't even I hate even mentioning the name because he's been such an exciting presence for the team so far this year. But
history would say he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I agree the same thing. I came on here and said he was trash, and then he proceeded to hit every clutch shot we needed and put up 30 plus points a game. But he's a solid player. But again, I'm very nervous if he's my best player. And
I like that he's become more of a playmaker, and he is playing into that a little bit. And again, he's on the bench, but he's not really on this list. And then another name I had on here that I kind of want to take off is Kemba Walker. What he's doing in New York is actually really exciting. But like he spent his first 9 years in Charlotte and never really could do anything with that team. And with Boston last year, so he's kind of like a name to stay on this list, but that's about it. And then that's the list. And then past players I have included are Blake Griffin.
Yeah,
can't really say his name. It's just not that great. Bradley Beal. I don't know what to say about Bradley Beal. Like he can be on this list, but I kind of like Bradley Beal. I kind of would want him on my team.
I feel like Beal's like a poor man's Lillard right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a poor man's Lillard.
The thing with him is he's another guy where I go, I just don't know if he's had a great opportunity yet. And I know I don't know. I just think on the right team, he's a guy that could be a really good
he could
player.
He could literally have the Ray Allen career where then he ends up going to a team to form a big three because he has the talent and he looks really exciting when he does play.
Like swap him for Levine, are the Bulls any worse? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I don't know if
it's
they're better.
Yeah, right.
But like they're not worse for sure.
What?
Beal for swap
Beal for Levine?
Levine. Are the Bulls worse?
Yes.
Yeah, they're worse.
No,
yeah. 4 games worse.
Wow.
But
Joey is so high on Levine. I love it. I just love it.
No, he's always been high on Levine, and he's been right. So
yeah, he's been right. You can dig his.
And I love Levine, but I don't know if he's.
Don't.
I love I just don't know if he's a better player than Levine.
Yeah,
I don't.
He's not. He's not. Did he win a gold medal this year? Oh no. That's right. He didn't. No, he didn't.
He did. Was he on the team?
No, he didn't. No, he got COVID, couldn't go.
No.
Oh, right.
Well, he couldn't go, but he would have been there.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
He wasn't. Wow. Now we're back to this. Well, you guys feel like calling it a show? You think that's good?
I'm good.
As long as you say Levine's better than Beal.
All right, Levine is better than Beal.
Better than, no. Zach Levine is a better player than Bradley Beal.
There it is. Perfect. I'm good.
Where
wrap it up.
If he's on the team, like is the team that much worse? Yeah.
I don't. Well, you know what? We'll look at the numbers.
Just 4 games.
We'll bring the numbers for next week.
Well, there was actually, maybe for next week we can talk about it. I think Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Zach Levine, Bradley Beal. Who are the other players like kind of in that mold? Maybe Jason Tatum would be another guy. Like I kind of wanted to compare those 5 guys. Like who is the best of those 5?
Yeah. Maybe Tatum's more in the Paul George. Oh,
yeah.
He might be a little bit bigger guy, or maybe it's Jaylen Brown or something. Yeah,
we did that last year. I think before the finals, right? We compared Levine to Booker. I think we all took Levine.
I don't remember what we said, but yeah.
We'll do a little research.
I want to look into that actually, how Booker is performing compared to Levine this year, because we'll get into that, and we should get some Box Out Book Club eventually.
Oh yeah, we got Chris has Scottie Pippen's new book, so
Unguarded, written by Scottie Pippen, autobiography. I'll try to read a chapter a week and come with some nuggets.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
If you read 100 pages this week, I'll give you a ticket to Great America. Okay.
Wow.
And maybe a ticket for a Pizza Hut pizza.
A little book it club.
Yes,
so we will have Box Out Boys book it. The Book It Boys.
I feel like I'm right back in high school.
Boys.
Yep. You know what? Those pan pizzas, the little personal pans,
pan pizzas.
They hit different after you read those books. You know what I mean? You earned that. You earned that pizza. Well, I think that's enough for us tonight. Join us next week to talk more NBA basketball. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide into those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays at 8:30. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, Box Out.